cars back there. And then they came out of the car, went into our reception area. We were actually having pistols at their thigh pocket, according to our civilian security man over there. They wanted to confront them, but they realized that because they are fully armed, shouting over there. We were actually amazed at the fact that we have security policemen outside that protect our compound. Yet these people could manage to go through and even come inside. And as I speak to you today, many of us have decided not to go because some of us, we are receiving the parliamentary results in places where there is it's not contested, and we have to do this thing prior to gazetting of the parliamentary results. I, for one, have decided not to go to the office because I don't know what's next.
What were their demands when they came in?
We don't know what they're coming for. I think it's one of these things that's moving from offices to offices and attacking and that.
Did they destroy anything?
Well, nothing was destroyed. But what kind of this thing that they have to go underground there and check vehicles that are parked there?
Did they hurt anyone?
No one was hurt.
Has management outlined any measures that will ensure the safety of all staff, including the security personnel who were stationed outside?
For staff, I don't know the situation now because for me, I've decided not to go to the office because I can't risk my life for this. We don't know when they will come there again with the side guns and pistols on their hands. We don't know. So I don't want to go. I'll not go to the office. People are not going. We want strong security.
Do you know whether a formal complaint has been made to the police?
I inform our bosses. I don't know how far they've taken it.
Well, that's an EC staff there interacting with my colleague Hannah Odame on condition of anonymity. In the OT region, a group of youth numbering over 50, believed to be supporters of the National Democratic Congress, also invaded the Kajebi District Assembly on the suspicion that some items from the assembly store were being taken away on the orders of the DCA. The incident, which took place on Monday, saw one worker of the assembly beaten for his attempt to record the incident. Correspondent Peter Senu joins us on the line with more on this. Tell us more about how this unfolded.
Right. Emefa, it was Monday afternoon at about 2 p.m. In fact, I was on my rounds monitoring situation when I chanced upon the youth at the premises of the assembly. So I thought to inquire exactly what was going on. And seeing the police around, I got curious. So I went to them and they were willing to speak that they were there basically to ensure that items that were meant for the citizens, the residents in the district were being taken away on the orders of the DC, and so they were there to ensure that nothing is taken from the stores and the offices of the assembly. And so we spoke to them, and they said their side of the story. The DCD also gave his side of the story, but he saw the number of the youth that came there as too much to handle, so he called in the police to intervene and then restore some calm. And according to him, they got a tip-off that was going to happen. And so they were, so to say, alert or prepared to engage them. And so he also mentioned that the life of the DC would not be too much of a safety if he keeps to stay in at his residence. So he has personally advised him to relocate for the time being, so that when tensions calm down, he could return back to PDV.
Okay. Well, that's my colleague Peter Senu there reporting from the OT region, and similar incidents have been reported elsewhere as well. We've been hearing from the National Democratic Congress. They've been condemning the violence and asked the outgoing administration to deal with individuals taking advantage of the situation to foment trouble. We'll get to hear from the Director of Elections of the party shortly. But first, though, listen to the Deputy Communications Officer of the party, Malik Basantele, denying links to the thugs.
At first, many people, the NDC guys who were storming these offices to cause mayhem. But yesterday, in the Wutu Senya West constituency, our guys had an issue where you had NPP tags breaking into the Agenda 111 facility and trying to do away with iron rods and other building materials. And so it took our guys to initiate a citizen arrest, and they handed them over to the police station. Just this afternoon, Nkwanta South, We've had people who attempted stealing drip equipment. They have just been arrested too, and they're going to be handed over to the police. And so a lot of people in town who are causing havoc are largely members of the New Patriotic Party. They are the same guys they used in 2017 to beat judges and destroy property and all of that. Many of their grassroots are saying they didn't get anything. And by so doing, it's time for them to ransack the offices of their superiors and also get something before the final exit office on the 7th of January. And so we are asking the public to remain calm. We are conducting investigations. We won't allow any of them go away with any state property. We would find them and then we would bring them to book within the remits of the law and ensure that the law catches up with all people.
We can now listen to Dr. Edward Omanibuama, Director of Elections and IT for the NDC, speaking on the Super Morning Show earlier today, urging the outgoing government to deal decisively with those fomenting trouble.
President Mahama spoke on this matter. I want to leave it at the top. He's demonstrated leadership. Let's see how we will progress to ensure that the very nation that we seek to defend and protect will be peaceful. And once again, as the leader said, he doesn't have state power, state authority at this stage. Whatever he is saying is persuasive. He wants the state institutions to work. Yesterday, I personally called the Ghana Police Service and asked them to be firm about all that is happening. We do not want insecurity in our country. So we are not a political party that will, on any day, endorse people going about, particularly when we know where people can even take advantage of the circumstances and be just fueling an inferno just to push a particular narrative. And look, if even it is me found there doing the wrong thing, I should be dealt with accordingly. The fact that your party has won does not mean you have the right to mess up, to trample upon the laws of the state. If you have the audacity to break the law, then you must have the courage also to bear the weight of the law.
That's Dr. Edward Omanibuama, Director of Elections and IT for the NDC, also a member of the transition team on the side of the NDC. While security personnel have been deployed to protect some government installations in the Ashanti region, while it comes after some persons moved into targeted government installations with the aim of seizing them after the government lost power. Security analyst Dr. Jones Opokuwari has been lauding the move. Well, my colleague Nanaya Ojima joins us on the line with checks on the security arrangement so far. Tell us about it, Nana.
So at the moment, we know that some police officers are stationed now at the Regional Coordinating Council, the EC office in the Ashanti region, and also the Kumasi airport. Before anyone gets access to any of these installations, you have to go through the security checks and confirm the reason why they should give you access to these facilities before the individual gets access to them. So at the moment, I've gone through some of these checks in the Regional Coordinating Council and other areas, and I can say that the police are on top of issues within these installations.
Well, let's go through some of these installations. We are told it includes government institutions, even markets were among targeted areas. How true is that?
Very true. Yesterday, some people went to the Kumasi redeveloped KGTR market to take control, seize some offices, and also seize the keys to the toilet facilities within the market. It took military intervention to ensure that calm is restored in the market. And we learned that even the Regional Coordinating Council is among areas that these people are targeting to move in and seize the areas.
Well, that's my colleague Nanaya Ojima reporting from the Ashanti region on the situation there. Well, there's been widespread condemnation of these acts, especially by NDC supporters. And we have the Catholic bishops and the Peace Council. Kenneth JC joins me in studio. What are they saying?
Well, I'll start with the Peace Council, who said they are saddened by every incident of electoral violence and strongly condemn them. Each of their 16 regional Peace Council officers, they say, is working on the ground to restore peace across all regions of the nation. It continues by saying that their regional peace councils continue to play a vital role on the ground in every one of Ghana's 16 regions. Let's go to the Catholic Bishop Conference, who say they condemn in the strongest terms the acts of violence, rioting and looting that have disrupted peace and stability in parts of Ghana. And it continues by saying that such actions are unacceptable and go against the core values of peace, unity and respect for the country. and they've urged the Ghana Police Service and other security services to remain vigilant and professional. They continue to say that justice must be served.
Okay, thank you very much. That's my colleague Kenneth JC there with updates on this. Let's take a quick break here on the midday news. When we return, we know that some parliamentary results from some constituencies remain in dispute, with the latest objection coming from the NPP's in Sawoma Duidri parliamentary candidate Frank Anodompre, who's called on President Akufo-Addo to intervene.
The transition process must be halted immediately until the determination of all the seats that are in question. Until then, no transition.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a petrol source station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
Thanks for staying with us. So let's do sports.
Yes, Emefa. So former Black Stars head coach Kwesi Appiah has not ruled out a return to the senior national team. Appiah, who has had 2 stints with Ghana, is currently contracted to Sudan until 2026.
We are professional personnel, yes, ma. Well, I told you now, yeah. Because I don't know the day.
You have to be professional, whether you will do it or not. You have to keep it in mind, because you never know what will happen. At the moment, I have a contract with Sudan and I am working with them. As a professional, you don't jump to conclusions because you never know what the future holds.
Well, that's former Black Stars head coach Kwesi Appiah.
Thank you very much for the latest from the world of sports. Now, the elections may have ended, but contentions over who won the parliamentary seat in some constituencies still persist. EC chairperson Jean Mensah, in announcing the results of the elections on Monday, said 9 constituency results were still pending. In the Sawoma Duidri constituency, the NPP parliamentary candidate Frank Anodompre has vowed to take the matter to court after refusing to concede defeat to the NDC's candidate. He's called on President Akufo-Addo to pause the transition process and support in Sawoma Duidri until coalition is finalized and results are declared.
The transition process must be halted immediately until the determination of all the seats that are in question. Until then, no transition until we determine the seat. Yes, I sir, because I just want CDS, Chief of Defense Staff, IGP, Inspector General of Police, easy former so far so good. Anytime I from the police anytime I from
Well, that's a Frank Anodompre on the situation in Sawoma Duidri. Well, the situation is not different in the Ahafano North, Techiman South, and Dom Kwabinya constituencies. NPP parliamentary candidate in the Dom Kwabinya constituency, Michael Kwe Jr., continues to insist that the declaration of the parliamentary results in favor of NDC's Elikplim Akurugu was invalid.
The EC said they will get back to us, so we are waiting on the EC. I don't want to say more than that because that is the situation. We want peace, but we want the things to be done properly. If I win, I win. If I've lost, I live to fight another day. But the right thing must be done. You cannot go and collate results alone with the EC and come and declare it.
Well, in the Ablekuma North constituency, the NPP's candidate for the area, Nana Ekuye-Free, has rejected the results after the EC, all the coalition declared NDC's Irabna Obeng as winner of the elections there. My colleague James Aveji has more in the following report.
All of the chaos here at the EC Regional Coalition Center has come to an end. The day has been marked with chaos after chaos. Distracting the process was NDC party supporters breaking glass windows to the EC's Coalition Center. In the midst of the final chaos, the EC returning officer have been set to declare the NDC's candidate as winner of the election. We can hear from the NDC candidate.
The MPP candidate would have conceded honorably for the sake of the people of Ablekumanov, for the sake of the peace we have in this country and what we need. But sadly, it has to be this way.
But the NPP candidate, Nana Ekwia Efrie, has been rejecting the declaration.
We won by 411. We are not going to accept it. We are not going to accept it.
The NPP regional chairman, Divine Agohom, says they will take a final decision on the next step forward.
We'll get back. We are going back into our meetings today, and then very soon, by tomorrow, we should be able to, have a clear direction.
That's James Aveji's report there. Now there's looming water crisis in the greater Kumasi metropolis as workers of the Ghana Water Company Limited in the Ashanti region protest an ongoing demolition exercise of properties belonging to the water company by the private developer. Well, walls at the company's guest house and residence for top management have been destroyed, with 5 others expected to be demolished. But the water distributor in the region is threatening to shut down operations if the issue is not resolved and the vandalized properties fixed within 48 hours. Well, my colleague Emmanuel Bright-Kweku joined the workers to inspect the properties, and they've alleged that it's been demolished, and they vowed to do everything within their power to stop it.
God relent. God given. Mate will remain the Pona Water Company, and the 5 that have been and will stand to resist it. President of Ghana, Nana Addo, elect NC John Dramani Mahama. We also want to plead with His Royal Majesty, the Otumfuo, the Ashantihini, to rise to the occasion to have this slander stopped. We are determined as a union that nothing will stop us from protecting these bungalows and assets of ours.
That's right.
Well, so that's the situation in Kumasi, and it's time for M&J, and I have unusual guests in the studios. I have Fosti and Kofi, so it's FNK in the studio. What are people talking about on social media?
Quite a lot. I'll start with the hashtag that's trending on Twitter right now, Justice for Patrick Yabuama. Well, people are saying that, the EC has to do something about it. People said, he should go and have a seat, but others are also saying that, look, let's do what is right. But one thing that is on top of my list will have to be Prince David Osei. He spoke to Hits FM this morning and said that, the tweets that he made about, some derogatory comments against President-elect Mahama was actually done by his cousins because he had left the phone. And people are saying, how can you tell me this story? So that's one thing that's trending on social media.
What do we have?
Well, we have the transition team, Emefa, trending, but then surprisingly, Charlotte Osei, the former EC boss, is trending. Well, this guy says, at MPK Kwartin says, can we make Charlotte Osei the next Attorney General? Then Nyao says, I wish Charlotte Osei can be nominated as the next Speaker of Ghana's 9th Parliament. So she's trending on social media. Let's see how that goes. Another thing that is trending is Malik Basinti.
I was going to say that. Activate all body cams.
No, but they've deactivated.
I thought they said they deactivated.
Yes. Okay. But what is it about his neck and all these things the ladies are talking about? I just don't like the fact that the ladies are. I think they're objectifying him, and I'm jealous about that. We fine boys today, come on, ladies. So I've decided that now I'm going to change my name to Kofi Basantali.
Oh, okay.
Just so I can attract
KB. KB. We have to lose a lot of weight to get that figure.
I hear
you. Well, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you,
and that's it for the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. For Hits FM audience, we have entertainment news coming up. I am Emefa Apawu. Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabil. Living for God, episode 8 is up next. Have a good afternoon.